Hey guys, happy Friday. Hope you're doing well on this Good Friday. Happy Easter. Enjoy your weekend with your family and just celebrating what Jesus did for us all, right? I'm excited to talk to you today about the topic of stress actually causing us to be sick. And this week's topic was about the health effects of stress, and a lot of you commented. I have a little list here, so I want to talk about that today, and I want to really help us get to that next level, because being stressed out is causing us to be sick. Those things in our life that are ongoing or spontaneous cause us to be sick. So we're going to talk about that today. And if you haven't seen the episodes from before, go in the video section on our Facebook group. I went into depth on different topics about busting the stress. And the effects of stress were the first couple of episodes, and they're really good. And only because I really think that God helped me to tell you guys what is happening in our lives because of the ongoing and the spontaneous stress that we allow to control us. So go back to those videos and watch them. Really get into that, okay? Welcome to everyone that's joining us live, and anyone watching the replay. I hope this brings you some kind of aha moment when you're watching it. I see Jen is on live. Wonderful. That's great. The topic this week had some great responses, and I love that because we are a community of people trying to bust the stress together, and it's a journey that we're all on. And these people did reply on the Facebook page. So let's see. Stephanie said that she's concerned about medications and their effect on our stress, or the actual medications having side effects on our health. So when we have issues where we turn to medications to kind of help us with our stresses, those medications actually do affect us negatively in some other way. I think that light bulb went off for me when I was watching this commercial. And you know, when they advertise these medications, they actually go really deep into all the side effects at the end. You know, they make it beautiful and how it's going to help you. Even medications that, you know, are for other reasons besides anxiety and stress, but they go into all these side effects. And one of the things that blew me away was one medicine that was just advertised that is supposed to be designed to help you with the other medicine that you're taking. And it was an anxiety medicine, and the side effect list was extremely long. But this medicine was designed to help another medicine that people are taking, because the medicine that they were taking is kind of wearing off. So instead of saying, hello, medications aren't really going to be the answer to the stress issue, they actually just created a new medication to boost that medication. So now you're taking two medications to help you with an issue that really you need to get control over unless there's something really seriously wrong. And these strategies that we've been talking about can help with that. Now, there are some cases where you really may need to seek medical advice, and there may be an issue, but I want to caution you that those simple fixes are not going to be the answer for the long term. When I was first diagnosed with my illness, the doctor asked me, "Are you stressed out?" And I said, no. And I didn't really. I thought I could handle things really well. Like, I wasn't like bursting out at the seams. I wasn't yelling at people. I didn't have those outward signs of stress, but there were a lot of inward things that were happening. I just didn't know it. So he subscribed me some medication because he wanted me to fix that issue. Well, the issue was a lot deeper than fixing with a little prescription pad. The prescription pad would have helped me probably to get to, I don't know, maybe a coping mechanism. Bernie's washing outside. Sorry. I guess he forgot I was going on live, so he's going to be washing the windows. You'll hear it in the background. he thought that medication could get me through, but unless you really address the underlying issues that are causing you to feel stressed, that medication isn't going to do anything for you. It'll give you maybe a quick fix. It will keep some things in check for a little while, but one, it will bring the side effects, and two, it will cause you to have those issues still there, so you'll be on, that medication forever because the issues wouldn't have been resolved. So I want you to think about that. Sometimes medication may be a quick fix, but it's not the answer. I didn't take that prescription. I decided that medication wasn't going to be my answer. And I had to change a lot of things to get the stress out of my life. And sometimes when we think about quick fixes to stress, there are some quick fixes, but I took some real, extreme fixes, and I wouldn't change anything at this point. I wouldn't change anything. Okay, so Michelle says she gets pain in her neck and her shoulders, and we've talked about how your body, thank you for that like, how your body actually goes into this tension. See, our body, when we are having a stress response, will release cortisol and adrenaline to set off that response. It goes into this automatic response to fix what's ever happening in the situation. And there are a couple of things that happen in that automatic response. First, our heartbeat gets fast, you know that you feel, when you feel stressed, especially if it's something that you are not used to, your heartbeat gets, beating a little faster. Then our body mobilizes fat and sugar so that we would have fast energy to save us from the situation that we are perceiving to be stress, like life-threatening. We focus our attention on it, so then there's things in our brain that actually can't really think clearly because we're focused on fixing whatever is happening in that moment. And then our muscles get all prepared for action. Think about it. Think about a real life-threatening situation. Your child runs out into the street. That's life-threatening. And your body's going to go into that stress response quickly. One, so you can focus on getting the kid off the street. Two, so you have the energy to get there and get him off the street. Your muscles have to be strong enough to grab him and lift him off the street. And, our heart is racing so that it's preparing us for that activity. That is a situation where it's an appropriate stress response. But unfortunately, we go into that response for the silliest things. The stress response was there to save us from life-threatening situations. Our body wants to protect us from danger, but that stress response shouldn't be there because we're in traffic. It shouldn't be there because they don't have the right bread that we wanted at the grocery store. Those are not stressful situations, but we do. We start to perceive that as pressure, like, well, oh my gosh, if I don't get the right bread, everybody at the house is going to complain. If I don't, get out of this traffic jam, I'm going to be late to work. There are things that we perceive as pressure that are not life-threatening. And our body constantly, because of our demanding society and the pressures we put on ourselves, those situations that are not life-threatening cause us to go into that stress response. It's okay once in a while, if you are in a life-threatening situation, that you go into that response where your heart's beating fast and your body is tensing up to give your muscles the actual power they need to get you out of it, or the fat and sugars need to be mobilized so that you could have that energy to save you in that stressful situation. But if you're doing that ongoing all the time, imagine the craziness that your body is taking all those hits all the time. I described my position when I was working full-time as a principal. I described that as taking hits all the time. Now, it was a lot of perceived pressure on my point because I had to, I perceived certain issues and problems as things that I maybe couldn't handle, and I would feel bad about it, and it would be very stressful. but I didn't work on it then, like now I know how to work on it. And so I had ongoing stress responses. Even though it wasn't anything dire or life-threatening, my body perceived it. I would go into that mode for whatever reason. And that mode constantly affecting your body causes you to be sick. Nutrition and stress are the number one reasons why we have cancer, heart disease, diabetes, autoimmune diseases, why we're not happy, why we don't find joy. Because we are not recognizing pressures as not being life-threatening. We're thinking that we have to keep up with everything when we don't. And unfortunately, that continual belief that we have to do everything just right causes us to go into this stress mode and response. So what do we do about it? Well, we have to think about some strategies, and we have to get over ourselves. You know, we have to realize that we're not just like this massive, wonderful human being that can control the world. No, we're just people. We're just people. So we have to, one, get over ourselves and understand that there are going to be times when we can't do everything. And it takes some work to change your thinking on that. And we've talked about in depth about visualization and about really changing the subconscious mind to believe something different than what it already does. See, if we believe that somebody's going to be upset with us if we don't do this, then there's this pressure on us to do this. And even if it doesn't fit into our schedule, we're doing it. And it's causing other issues and that stress response and that body to be affected negatively. So we have to really try to train ourselves and our mind to know what's appropriate, what's a real pressure, not a perceived pressure. It's really important. Some of the other issues that came up in the discussion this week that, you know, where stress actually shows itself, Nicole and Dawn both say about weight gain. And we've talked about that. We've talked about emotional eating. See, our brains want a quick fix to get that dopamine. And so we will eat in stressful situations because it relaxes. It gives our brain that dopamine that causes us to relax. So when you're stressed, you're going to go turn for something that's going to bring you to a happy place, a quick happy place. But as soon as that wears off, you're back to where you were. So is emotional eating or stress eating going to help the situation? No. It's going to give you that, but it's not going to fix that you're stressed out about that situation. So that's where the weight gain comes, because instead of doing the real hard work of taking some time to get our thoughts in order, to rest and relax, we just go for something that we can put in our mouth that will bring us there quicker. And it's not over time going to be the answer for you. So you have to be really careful. And I encourage you, if you didn't look at or listen to the emotional eating episode, go back in the video section and look at that. It's a real thing. It's called the pleasure trap. And the reason why we go for food in those moments is because we get this relaxing fix. But it's not going to sustain us. It'll not fix the stresses. It'll still be there. And that is going to be an issue. And that's why we get the weight gain. See, when we look at our stomach and we see that belly, that's, you know, that's indulgences. And that's stress. And those toxins that are being held in there is because we've taken in a lot of junk food to fill our needs of peace. And real peace doesn't come from a cupcake. Honestly, it does not come from a cupcake. It tastes really good, and trust me, I know, because I go there too. But if you recognize that there is a pleasure trap that gets you sucked in and you go there just to get that quick fix and it's not going to fix the problem, that will help you just by recognizing it. What can I do in this situation that is going to cause me to relax and not need that cupcake? And it may be just putting on some music. It may be just going into action doing something different. You know, if you feel stressed out and you feel that response coming on, tell yourself what's real in that situation. No, it doesn't matter what kind of bread I buy. Nobody cares. And so what? They're going to have to deal with this kind of bread instead of the other kind of bread. Whatever your stresses are, whatever your perceived pressure is in that moment, there's thousands of them. And that's a simple example. But if you, in the moment of stress, instead of reaching for the food to get the quick fix, have an alternative plan. When I feel that stress response, I am going to literally sit down for 1 minute. We can take 1 minute to just sit down and rest and relax. Now, there are times when there are some ongoing stresses that underlie our issues that we have to deal with. You know, these spontaneous issues like traffic or the wrong bread at the store or somebody frustrating us. Those are some spontaneous things that we don't even know will happen. And so in that moment, we have to take a deep breath and try to retrain our brain to not give value to it. But there are some ongoing issues that people have in their lives that they just don't address. So I have a bust through sheet on our files section of our Facebook page, and it's called Ongoing versus Spontaneous. So it's a really good way to reflect, you know, is there an issue that is ongoing that's causing me frustration, or is it, if that spontaneous issue can be resolved by just chilling out for a minute, what can I do to resolve the ongoing issues that I have that I'm not addressing, that just keep coming up? So bust through with that sheet by looking at your ongoing and your spontaneous issues. All right, so we had also Stephanie and Ellen. They talked about headaches and tension and migraines. And now remember, in a moment of stress, our body will respond by tensing up the muscles so that they're ready to save us. So we are not going to continually be able to be in that mode and not have the result of headaches and tension. Now, headaches could be as simple as dehydration. Don't overlook some of the simple issues. It could be some kind of toxins in your body trying to get out. It could be your brain is dehydrated. But if this is ongoing and you think it's a result of stresses, you have to put in place some of these strategies to relieve that stress. Does that make sense, guys? Is any of this making sense? I hope so. Sometimes I kind of ramble and my brain is going in different directions, but I hope you're getting something out of it. Remember that we had that one episode where we talked about the sprint runner, and I loved that analogy because usually we're prepping for, or a sprint runner will prep for a race, and then he'll run, and then he'll stop and he'll take in the race before he does anything else, right? Well, we are in this constant prepping, running to live through work and to live through family and to live through chores and all of that stuff. But if we continually just run, prep, run. I mean, I'm tensing up just telling you that story. And not take the time to rest and relax, then your body will always be in that mode where you are mobilizing fats and sugars so that you have energy. Always tensing up the muscles so you have the strength. Always getting the heartbeat going because you need to be able to go fast. Always focusing the attention on that problem and the next problem and that problem. And if you're always doing those things, your body will get sick. And mine did. It turned on me. It was out of whack. The immune system was out of whack. If you have colds and you have illnesses that just keep popping up, or you know somebody with heart disease and diabetes, it is either the food or it is the stress. Because our body cannot be in those modes and do its job in the immune system. It just can't do both things. Our immune system gets suppressed so that it can focus on all that stuff that's going to save us in what we perceive as a life-threatening situation. And yeah, the wrong bread at the store sometimes seems life-threatening until we change what we think. We have to change what we think. Now I want to share with you, and I want to close with this aha that I had yesterday. And I think that it will help you. And remember, we're all on this journey together. So my ahas are your ahas. I have been doing so many different things since I took on my own business that I just, it keeps, my brain just keeps going. See, I would think that if I moved from that to working for myself, life would be la 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 la, beautiful, right? But I still a lot of pressure, and it's still a lot of stress, and it doesn't make sense, right? I got rid of these constant hits by leaving this, and then I'm getting this other underlying stress, about how to be successful and how to keep going, etc., etc. So yesterday I was just thinking, and I was talking to God, and I said, I don't understand. Why am I not jumping out of joy about life? I have an incredibly blessed life. I have an amazing future ahead of me. Why am I not jumping for joy? And some of you may relate to that. Sometimes we get into a situation where we feel like, okay, well, I thought I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, but I'm not happy. So he told me, and I hope it blesses you guys today. He told me, Maria, I have been pulling you through all of those things because I do want you to do all those things. I mean, if you're a child of God, He's going to be with you. If you have the Holy Spirit in you and you are at least somewhat connected to Him, He's going to be pulling you through. And He said, I've been pulling you through all of these things. And yes, I want you to do all of these things. But it's in turning to me and asking and listening that I will bring you the joy in that moment. And I thought that was very powerful because we have these perceived pressures, and we have a lot of ongoing stresses, and we have some spontaneous stresses. But He's told me very clearly, I have been pulling you through, and I will continue to pull you through in those situations. But if you want peace and joy in those moments, you have to turn to me, ask, and listen to what I say. And I thought that was incredibly powerful for me, because even this morning when I started that stress response came, I was having a conversation with Bernie and it wasn't going as I mentally thought it should. So the stress response was starting. I turned to Him. I turned to God, and I said, what can I do in this situation to make it better? How can this conversation go better? And he told me. He told me what to do. He said, just appreciate Him. Don't expect Him to communicate a certain way with you. Appreciate Him for what He is, who He is, and just move on. So it released the pressure right then and there. That pressure left. And sometimes we miss that very important resource for us. Not to call God a resource, but He's there for us. So I encourage you, in your next stressful situation, when you feel the heart starting to race and you feel the tension, one, take a minute, relax, put some quiet music on, just a few minutes to really say, is this situation necessary for this type of response? Is it life-threatening that this is happening? Ask yourself that question. And then two, turn to Him. Read some scripture. Put some good music on that encourages you to be connected to Him. And then ask Him, what do you want me to do in this situation? Do you want my body to be engaged this much to fix this situation? Or should I leave it to you? What do you want? And then listen. Listen to what He tells you. That will release a lot of pressure. So, all right, guys, that's our message for today. I hope it brought you some peace. I hope you understand that you will kill yourself or cause yourself to be sick. We have all these incredible events to raise money for cancer awareness and heart disease, and we have, relays, and we have the other one, jump rope for heart. They go into all the schools, and it brings a lot of great awareness. It's awesome. But your ability to know what causes you to be sick is right at your fingertips. It's the foods you eat and the stress. And when I say the foods you eat, it's the food we eat. I do it too. Foods we eat and the stresses in our life. So get over yourself if you want to be healthy, and take the time to address the stress issues so that you're not sick. Okay? All right, so that's it for today. Thank you for everyone that joined in live. I really hope that you got something out of it. I'd love to hear in the comments what you got out of today's session. The episode is going to happen every week for you. I'll put a new topic in the group on Monday, and then we'll get back on live next Friday. And I hope that you can join us live, but if not, watch and in the comments write down or just share with us what you thought. It helps me to feel like I'm doing the right thing for you. And then I want you to really stay tuned for the next couple weeks, because I have something kind of fun and exciting for us in May, and I'm going to be announcing that probably next week or the following week. All right, guys, have a good day.